Hi, it's Hazel, and welcome to my channel, Hazel and Aka Design. This is going to be a quick flip through of a journal that I completed to give to Brenda. That's Brenda Clark, aka The Simple Crafter. Those of you who watch regularly know that the last time she and I met for lunch, she surprised me with a journal. And of course, this is my way of reciprocating. Now, before this video airs, there's another one where I described how I modified an existing journal cover to, to create a wider spine, and she doesn't mind a gator mouth, so anyway, I will link that in the, I'll have a link to that video. Now, I learned from Carrie, Thumbprint Creations by Carrie, that the recipient often likes to be surprised and doesn't want to see every single feature that that a journal might have. So that's the premise I'm taking here. Now, what I used as a tie is this very shabby, practically threadbare vintage strip from a vintage sheet. So you can sort of, I thought it was a reasonably, I wish there would have been more blue in it, but a reasonably good match to this cover. So it's just wrapped around multiple times, and honestly, at some point, if it just tears in half, I'm not going to be surprised. But because this book is going to a fellow journal maker, she'll know exactly what to do if that were to happen. Again, I talked about the cover in a previous video, so I won't belabor that. So I've left threads dangling. If she doesn't like that look, she can always change it. Now, I did add this little, at first I thought I was going to put I was going to say a rivet, an eyelet in there to, add some fibers of some sort. Oh, this thing isn't even done up. And what the heck? It's not even making contact. I might have to replace that or bend it to see what the issue is there. Maybe just straightening out that one prong will do. Okay, that's better. So I just chose this particular one because it's kind of, it's cute and it has a bee on it. The ironic part is that after I added a few little bits of fibers, and the part that makes me smile about this is that they were part of a bag of scrap trims that Brenda had given me when we met that day for lunch. So if some of this looks familiar, you'll know why. I finally started using some of my film strip. Here I just added, I had this little thing made, but nothing in the opening. So I just found a couple of faces that sort of fit in there and let that be a dangle. I'm not going to go through necessarily what I put in the pockets. This, I will mention. Now, I've inked it around, but this was sort of a, I think this was intended as a table marker, perhaps for a wedding or something. It's got a great big number underneath there, but of course I covered it up and grungified it. I added, of course, I was looking at things that were on my desk. So I had bug guts lying around. I had a tea bag. So I just sort of decorated. Oh, I lost I have a paper clip here somewhere. There it is. This was a scrap piece of ribbon, and I just used 3 of them. Oh, well, let me show you this while I have it. So some book guts there. Made this little snippet, including this little tiny doily medallion. I just hand stitched that on there. And again, you know, I'm sure you can figure out why some of these things made the cut here. That's nothing there. I finished off, oh, I got stuck in the glue. This is another piece of Brenda's trim. I did that card because this was something that was kind of a base but not complete. You saw me add that. Now I will talk about this. This lady here was one corner off a vintage hanky. So I had done, and I have these pentagon shaped game cards. So I picked one of these that sort of fit. This is a gauzy little thing. I don't even know what that is, but I had to cover the back because it was going to become a tag, not a tuck spot. More film strip. I didn't realize the other day that this was in fact a giant pocket. This is also Brenda's trim here. And I just layered a couple of items on there to make this less busy and more obvious that it was different from the rest of that. I used, now you may have, I don't know if I did this on camera or not, but this was a ready-made pocket. I added a snippet, again, more book guts. This is Brenda's lace here. Just did a paper tab up there. I added a couple of the flowers and again, a scrap of Brenda's to the center of this flower. Now I haven't put anything in there and I don't know that I will. Added some of this gingham ruffle here. That is paper. Another piece of Brenda's lace. Added a snippet there. Stuck something in the pocket there. Okay, this you may have seen. Playing card. One of these little envelopes. Another grungy little journaling thing space. Now, I don't think you saw this. This was really cute fabric that had these little designs. So it had some animals, it had mushrooms, and a long time ago, I tore it into around the images and sewed them onto pieces of matching cardstock. This, I didn't even cover the back, but I think I did. Oh, you know what? These were, this is out of a watercolor book. And I just added the mushrooms on top of that. So she can do something more with that if she wants to. Of course, she can do whatever she wants, wherever she wants. I think I might have shown this earlier. It is, this is an Artie Mays thing from way back when. A little fiber thing on the paper clip. Maybe I should show this. I haven't done this for ages, and it's so simple. It's just a piece of ledger that, you know, is folded to sort of amplify how much space there is there. That's just a piece of scrap paper. You saw me deciding what or thinking about what I could do with that. Here's another one of those paper clips just with a bit of that ribbon. And I added this film strip. I just stapled it on with 2 staples so that it would, well, number one, be easier to get it out of there, but also just an attempt to use some of these things up. Oh, I discovered, like when I did the video on those antique books that I had bought through auction. And of course, one of the spines was crumbling right before my eyes. So I picked a couple of pieces of that beautiful leather spine, added it here to some paper towel, teed paper towel, and a little fabric. I don't even know where that piece of fabric came from. This is an over-the-top, this was actually a place card. So I had coffee dyed it at some long distant time, and have this ready to go. I kind of like that the mushroom extends beyond. And, you know, obviously she can do whatever she wants with that. Don't think I've done anything more. Oh, I should look for something to tie onto the threads, I guess. This is just a little, so this is scrapbook paper. This is just a wee number of lined scraps covered with a fabric, you know, to hide the staples. I won't show you what that is. Oh, this I added, it was just part of a vintage end paper, or an end paper from a vintage book. I just made this up. It's part of the same file folder that I've used elsewhere, this one. I showed this during my organizing ephemera thing, but maybe in case you didn't see that. So this is just scrapbooking paper that was folded, a few coffee dyed little bits here. This is the tag from a tea bag, and it looks so darn cute. This is a digital of some cut work that my aunt did, and that's in my collection. This is Brenda's trim here. Oh, I didn't put anything in here either. Brenda will have to load this up herself. So this is a fabric covered belly band. This is just some scraps from a spine of a book. This was a piece of coffee dyed fabric that I had stamped on. I did this a few years ago and obviously keep forgetting to use it. So sassy. Now, up to you to decide if sassy describes the book or the woman. Okay, nothing much done here. I added this paper ruffle. I love the look of that. It was obviously, oh, it's an atlas index. This little scrap was kicking around, so I just added that on there. Not sure I put anything in there. I might have to add a few more items. This was, I think I might have shown you this before. This is an altered envelope, and those little kids are in the window. Here I added, oh, and I love the look of this. So this, not even sure where this came from, this bit here. It was already done and pre-sewn, but I added this bit of, you know, old tape. And I used, what glue did I use? I might have used Fabri-Tac for that. And I can't tell you how much I love that particular thing. And then this was a bit of something that's been kicking around on my desk. So I added that to another little snippet to use up some of those scraps. I'll remind you that this inside was an old department store bag. And that is that. So I guess before I tie this thing up, I should add a few more bits and pieces in here. Now it is, obviously, it's got a big mouth. But I chose not to do a journal topper because I like this. I think it's sort of a tip off as to what to expect inside the journal. And that makes me happy. Now, I guess I still, at this moment, I am leaving this spine as it is. Now, you know, to create a more attractive little backdrop here, I obviously have this piece of old, I don't even know what this is, to be honest. I bet you it would tear really nicely. So, I mean, I have fabric like that I could rip and use to cover this. But honestly, I kind of like that neon green waxed thread. So I think I may just leave that as it is and let Brenda do whatever she will to this book. So I think I'm going to stop there. I just will add a few more things so that, you know, some of those pockets are not totally empty. And it may be as simple, to be honest, as just some vintage book page. Because obviously she likes that kind of stuff. And because she likes that kind of stuff, and I have no shortage of that kind of stuff. You know, so this feels so lovely. So anyway, that, I guess if you want to see, you know, the journal in its entirety, I imagine Brenda would probably do a flip through when I finally give this to her. So, you know, you can always tune in then. Anyway, I have to tell you, you know, between you and me, it was quite a pleasure. Oh, I just spotted some. I could find a place to add one of these, I'm sure. This is a piece of upholstery, and I just bent it over to make this top a little firmer. Now, of course, and it is zigzagged around, so I don't want to cut it narrower, but I suppose it could go on a page. You know, it could go on some, hey, this almost repeats. Okay, I'll add that there. And then I really will stop talking. I started to say that it has been an eye-opener to me. Maybe I'm the slow kid in the class, but it's been an eye-opener to me that I can look through something I've created. So step one was sorting through ephemera and seeing what I had and pulling out things that could work in baby journals, ladies' journals, Brenda's journal, and the one I will be doing for Carol, Crinkled Path Carol. So that was step number one. Step number two was, instead of creating something from scratch, by looking through my existing covers, and I even had the pages pre-selected, just hadn't done the final step of sewing them in, I was able to cut my time down considerably, which is really important because I am kind of slammed right at the moment. And it's also a busier time of year with now yard work and so on to do. So to me, it's kind of like the ultimate use what you've got, especially if what you've got is something that you've already made. It's just cool. So I will stop there. I'm probably the last one to have figured that out, but hey, better late than never. Oh, I just saw something else that could work here. I took, I'm just going to throw this in the way it is. Where did I have an empty pocket? Let's just, no, it doesn't fit there. I will figure out a place to put this and let her figure out something to do with that. And yeah, I'm going to stop there because, of course, today is, as I'm taping this, is a junk journal group meeting, and I still have to run like a chicken without my head all over this place, gathering up stuff for the swap. And I think, in theory, we're supposed to be working on our altered books, but honestly, I'm going to take something of my own to work on simply because I got things to do. I got people to see, places to go, things to do. So that's where I am today. I hope that maybe you're in a more relaxed place than that. Anyway, guys, I very much appreciate you. And if you haven't yet done so, I would humbly ask, that you consider subscribing, that you give the video a thumbs up, and that you write a comment of some sort. And of course, if you're new, or if you've never sort of introduced yourself to me, do so in the comments, because that's how the circle, that's how the circle widens. That's how relationships are formed. So when I name drop, and I talk about Teresa and Susie and fellow YouTube holders or channel hosts, and Terry and Hope and some of these other people, and Ruth, it's because I've gotten to know them through their comments. Not because I've ever made a video and I've watched that, but simply through their comments, their engagement with me in that way. So, yes, I would love to be able to, like, remember the romper room teacher when she used to have the magic mirror and she'd say hi to everyone except Hazel? Well, that's what I'd like to be able to do more often on my channel. We'll just skip the mirror part. Anyway, guys, thank you, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.